Alright, I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what I did last time. It's been like months. I may have lost the plot. But you know what, that's fine. We're gonna figure it out as we go along. I think I just got out of a court case, so I don't know if we want or we just delay the inevitable. 23rd October to 2:41 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Plum! Yo, how you been, bro? I haven't seen you in forever. Hoping you've been keeping yourself busy. Doing well, I hope. How's it going, man? So good to see you. I fell off the grid a little bit, but you know, I'm back to doing my regular thing now. So thanks for chilling. Oh, that's right, I wore the outfits. Oh, this room, it's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. Good seeing to you too, man. Hope all is well. Yeah, we're just vibing. Doing my best. And in the end, that's all we can do, really. But, oops, sorry. Just checking something. But yeah, just trying to roll with things because I've been busy a lot. Right now I'm bumming at home. Not much going on lately. Oh, nice. So you got a bit of a break. I know last time I saw you, I think you were pretty busy, but it's good to see you now finally taking some time for yourself. Happy for you, man. It's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar. Dang, it's almost like the game knows. It's been almost 6 months since I played. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you left it. But it has been 6 months, it's true. So is your father alright, Susie? What happened? My father? Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago. But that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you see for saying he'd fallen ill from a very high fever for some unknown reason. That's right. So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised but happy. I think I wrote about my letter to you, that it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm very obviously relieved about that. Oh, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I was able to return to Europe, actually. It was because of a grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. The International Forensic... That's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Yeah, I got let go from my... Oh, you got let go from your job? Not how I want to leave, but it's whatever. Were you planning on leaving regardless? Like, either sooner than later? No, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That kind of sucks. Job market nowadays is actually pretty difficult. But, you know what? I got faith. I got faith that you'll find something. Are you currently looking for another job, or did you find one already? Man, that's gotta be rough. I wish I had left sooner. It was draining me mentally. Oh, dang. Well, I mean, at least you're away now, so... I mean, like you said, it's not the way you wanted to go out, but... Regardless, at least you got your health. And now... Now maybe since it's not draining you mentally anymore, maybe you get to, you know, take the time for yourself, because, you know... Money is secondary to health, honestly. You gotta take care of yourself first and foremost, bro. Hang in there, Plum. Oh, good though. I got more time to... Yeah, see, there you go. That's the right attitude. Oh. You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course, I shall. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who. About Kazuma. Kazuma! I know. I'll tell you all that I can. Alright, back in Britain. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely. The awful trial? Oh yes, for the murder of Giselle Brett. Oh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Reno? Yes, I suppose so. I want to play being a lawyer now. I can wear a false mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Mrs. Ito. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it has something to do with that convict salute we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right, the very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. What would that be then? Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself, and decide that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, Susie. That's a very meaningful look on Suzu's giving Iris there. The symposium? Lord Strongheart mentioned something about the symposium too. I think he said the investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. It's something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say? Yes, His Excellency Judge Sashiro Jigoku. That's how you say it. Blah. You met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. Oh yeah, that's right, I was charged for murder. How could I forget? That terrible trial of yours when you were accused of murder. Ah, yes, I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. Even though it really wasn't. Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over the trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy to never see that man's face again in my life. Oh, well anyway, as Father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to return to Britain too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed with me on me going on ahead. Yes, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General. The most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech about this subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it. How trying for you. Wait, actually, let me see what I have right now. Oh my god, it's all coming back to me. Oh, this is... This freaking crossbow that was just lying on the ground and nobody noticed. Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended me in being wrongfully accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems as it's a name we should all forget. Sorry? Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. It turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist. Didn't exist? But how can that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shun, and she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front. A front? Who on earth was she then? Mr. A. Shin. Her name was literally all our intelligence services have been able to discern about her. Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery. But that makes no sense. It's not an easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could that woman have been up to? I'm afraid I don't really know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand. Now she's been killed. All the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. Shin. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? Have we? Actually, why am I even asking? It's been months. I probably don't even remember. What about Kazuma? Kazuma! After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on in that visiting student's fate. Nobody in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he'll never... Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later, I visited a man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama. And what did you learn? After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consultant staff there. Should have been. Well, it turns out his body never arrived. It just disappeared. Hey Dom, hey Assassin, what's up? What's up? What you got for me? Still though, his body never appeared. No way. This guy can't be still alive. We saw him die. No. What? Kazuma's body vanished? Twitch wants me to redeem McDonald right up home with your 100k. Yeah, and don't you? Did you want to do it? Honestly, it's up to you whether you want to use it or not, or save your points. You know what? It's absolutely up to you. Twitch just recommends anything that you when you cross over a certain threshold. Honestly. Yeah, well, that's what happens. You must have just hit 100k or something. Oh, and then you go and do that. All right, good job, buddy. What are we at that amount, by the way? Oh, 24%, and it's 18 days left. Oh, we're cooked. Yeah, there's no way making 100% on that. Absolutely not. It's been 12 days at 24%. All right. Well, I think I'm chilling, actually. You don't stream enough, so, I try. I try. I do my best. Sounds like you made it impossible. Listen. You're right, I should have boosted the limit, honestly. Our government tried to cover it up. Cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except Kazuma-sama isn't there. Did Professor Mikotoba know about this? Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak. I just don't believe it. Oh, look at that. 25% complete. Thanks, Jay. What I say if we make it to 50%. Okay, you know what? If you make it to 50%, then hard mode is guaranteed. If you make it to 100, then I'll do super hard. How about that? I think that's fair. Hi, Jay. How's it going? You at work right now? And what is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Bureau were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Working and lurking. Yeah, that's what I figured. You have a good day at work, man. And thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, did you see John's video trailer that he posted in Discord? Someone has to tell him that the max he can have for his channel trailer is 1 minute, and that thing is 1:40. He has to cut back like 40 seconds. Because I know you try to stream, but for you to stream enough to hit 100 doesn't seem realistic with the work schedule. I know. I mean, I could stream at night. Nothing's stopping me. I just choose not to. Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive? Ain't no way. Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Just thinking about the possibility pains me. So very much. Oh. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly. You're right. Yeah, unless he was playing dead for that long, there's no possible way. I swear to God. So if Kazuma actually hadn't been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us. But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing. I suppose that's true, yes. The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turned out to not be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me. Oh, Miss Suzuto. I know she's given the idea of the thought it deserves. It's Suzuto's song we're talking about, after all. So I probably shouldn't push it now. Well, guess wait, I can't go anywhere. Oh, but I can look around. Is Holmes hiding in there somewhere? No, Iris is just chilling. Hey, what's up? What are you doing? It must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the Baskervilles. But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it. And he put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it. Nobody knows anything about it apart from Hurley and I. But for some reason... You knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. And you wouldn't tell me how you come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I'll explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Oh! I'm only sorry I had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. Iris, yeah, I can't talk. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, "The Hound of the Baskervilles." What? My Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time. My father came in and... Suzuto, what are you doing? Oh, Father. Did you look at those papers? No, I simply read the label, that's all. Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry? Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand? But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? I have no idea. Oop. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed. There was an unpublished account of one of those Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions. And there was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I had no idea, but no doubt Father has very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still. I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well. So you're fully abreast of the situation already, Mrs. Ito. I'd expect nothing less, to be honest. I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick. Yes, a conjurer of sorts, by the sound of it. Well known in the fields of science and magic. Then we need to go and arrest him. Well, yes. He must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find the man. Sounds like a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police, or a great detective. Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think. Good idea. Best of luck, then. Oh, you're not coming today? I'm gonna Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. But let me know how you get on, won't you? Yeah. That was a little abrupt. Pull the herb market must be strong. Hello, friends. Just popping in to say have a good stream. I gotta get back to lurking. I have a million things to do at work today. Like, re-edit your video. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. I'm like, how do we tell him? Way I see it, the boys only got till sunset. You know what? Thanks for popping in real quick and enjoy the lurk, my dude. Alright, now we move. New location has been added. Thank God. Where? I'm sorry, I spaced out. Where was I supposed to go again? No, let's go to the Waxwork Museum. Maybe Holmes is still there. This guy shouldn't take me too long to re-edit it anyway. No, it won't. It won't take too long. It'll probably just be like minorly annoying that you have to like cut like 40 seconds off of Because you gotta be selective with your, which clips you want to keep in there. 23rd October, Madame Tuspel's. Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. 39 months. Thanks for the Prime subscription, bro. Sorry to interrupt you in the middle of your work. Yeah, I can't believe I spent 39 months. That's crazy. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home via the confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets? I can understand that. I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere. That's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Oh. Am I not meant to be here? Wait, no, he's totally here. You're lying to me. The particular note. No, not the mirror. I need to... Oh, what a horrifying scene. A murderer caught in the grisly act. I know, and in case you were wondering, it's the one with the big knife that's supposed to be the killer. I don't think anybody would be in any doubt about that, surely? And did you know that according to the description, it's the bathtub in the back has no particular significance? What? Really? I would have thought that meant to show that the killer also worked in the bathhouse peddling criminal wares. Aha, we have a new theory. Nope. Don't need to look at that. Okay, I guess he really is gone. Alright, you know what? Let's try a new location. Let's go right to the scene of the crime. October 23rd, the Great Exhibition grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. That is a mouthful. Oh, puppy! I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Has it? Shut my brain down so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind, Mr. Naruto. There you are. I have a feeling you lot will show your mugs before long. It's gotta be with... Yeah, it's gotta be... Oh no, it's him. Ah, sorry, there was something in my throat. Oh, Inspector Gregson. I see your hard as work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since we last met. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. He might be rough around the edges, but he's still a proper Englishman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we're hoping to investigate the area, the scene some more. Right. Well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi! Get over here, Gina! She's too busy here with the puppy. She seems to be busy playing with the puppy. Probably giving it a traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Oh, that's right, you missed that. Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep. I think she'll follow my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. It's time for me to say doodly-doo to London. There. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you gonna be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along. Yeah, not likely, but you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? Yeah, I'll be working in the Paris police prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? For chips, fries? Yo, he is enjoying the hell out of those fish and chips. That has not run out since the first time we met this guy. Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what become of her? I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into her her hands into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I gotta keep that Dive Diva safe and sound. Until all of this is over, at least. Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' Dive Diva again? Oh, missed you, Gina. God damn it. So you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable Detective Diva here. Bye. Alright, you're the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you got a new dog, have you? Aww. Isn't he great? Toby is his name. That's cute. How delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not-so-lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Clearly picking up a crossbow from the ground. I still can't get over that. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with me new friend here. Yes, Toby. Oh. Another one for good measure. The machine that exploded must be the top of the stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh? It's like I told Oda yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you're thinking of? Alright, they brought that up in court a lot last time I played this. That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The Forensic something? The Forensic Investigation Team? Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one, yeah. But isn't it the case that the special disposition has been lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps? That's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something. So without Lord Strongheart's express permission, we can't investigate on stage. Okay, I see where this is going. It was great. I had a bright laugh. It was a new one on that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worried about I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, it always made things off for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. And everyone hates me for it. I can't catch a break. But watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for, sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest the other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer. What was his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? Enoch Drebber? That's the one, yeah. So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. It's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him a gut ache. Oh dear. But I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. He does eat a lot of fish and chips, to be fair. Well, I have no idea where he is. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck. He's really funny looking, got two eyes but don't match. Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't really pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry, who? You know, Scallon Reaper's always lugging down glasses of that blood-red plunk. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. He keeps breaking glasses in the courtroom. He's always had an infamy, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Probably would have been a good boss as it goes. Is he rather the Reaper's apprentice than the detective's trainee? The way I see it, the choice between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod, you're equally bad off with both. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Glad we put that one to bed. Anyway, point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be any clues to go on, so they're stuck. There's nothing that can lead us to Mr. Drebber at all? Toby! Where'd you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Odo. Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright. Toby is, how they put it. Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. Sorry? I'm giving him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. More senior than Inspector Gregson, isn't he? Damn, the dog's higher up. Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? The police recruit dogs now? I've heard that they've already been officially used in Germany as a part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell when undergarments have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. Bruh, what? Haha, that's nothing to compare to this little fella Odo. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, he could chase that scent to the other end of the world. What? To the other side of the world? You mean he could swim? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by a rather wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I can't swim. I'm telling you, Odo, there's gonna be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right, one of these days they'll be barking orders as lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina, I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby here is the first Britain's first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street. Aww. There you go. I knew she lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. Alright, well, I know what I need to do. I need to get permission to investigate. But the only way I'm going to do that is by going over here. What the... 23rd October, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart? I wonder. I've never seen it before. Oh, but they see us. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. My bad, bro. Oh, you mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrambling to respond. Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special disposition that prevents the investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with the scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, isn't it? Is it? Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. Who are you? Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Sy, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. Oh, okay. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Oh, thanks, dude. Ah, right. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So he's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore. Imagine if all his dialogue options were timed. And if you ran out, you're just fucked. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now. Unofficially, of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago. At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of the work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, these scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up, burnt in the fires of hell. That's extreme, but oh my god. At least he takes his job seriously, but holy hell. I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, to protect our honor and our future. Look at those eyes. He means every word. Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikitoba. Oh, yes, my lord? Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikitoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes, I remember Dr. Mikitoba very well. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago in fact. Mikitoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge. The punctuality and the politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikitoba's studied forensics as one of London's large hospitals. St. Siners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Symes was also there then, as it happens. Then Dr. Symes knows my father, does she? She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly, but I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikitoba was studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh. Perhaps Father wanted a reason to get away. What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time. I want to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually. I've heard that his older brother was killed some years ago. Oh, that's right, we did learn about that. God, that was a while ago. My brain is turned to mush. By a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say that it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zeeks, was murdered. It was just after young Barak had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade the conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that whoever Barak Van Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Oh my word! So, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother? Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Oh yes, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible. Are you well versed in science, then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Well, a special disposition legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sai's team of forensics experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls. We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you're so busy, my lord. I have important matters to attend in preparation for the symposium, you understand. Alright then, I assume new location has been added, but first I want to go look at the thing. Alright, can I go up there now? Yes, I can. Gina? We were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? Let me play with my new friend here. Ah, yes, Toby. Hi, Toby. The machine that exploded must be at the top of the stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind... Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh. It's like I told Odie yesterday, even I am allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we were supposed to touch it? The Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that the one you were thinking of? That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The Forensic something? The Forensic Investigation Team? Is that what you're thinking of? Yeah, we've been over this. That's the one, yeah. But isn't it the case that the special disposition is being lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig as someone swallowing eyes out of that. What was his name again? Lord Strange something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps? That's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something. Actually, we just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. Yeah, you what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly, yeah, we definitely did. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying that this is all above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really would be tragic. You wouldn't get any more fish and chips. Alright then. Down to the stairs, off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. Alright. New location. Okay, no, that's the new... wait. How to get upstairs? Okay, I have to actually look at the stairs. I forgot about this. The stairs lead up to the experimentation stage. Let's go and see what we can find out. October 23rd, the Great Exhibition Grounds Experimentation Stage. Oh my, so this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrain went in order to obtain the research grant. No, the professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It's amazing though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. You're right about that. You never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh look, is that a Ferris wheel? Lord Van Zeke, wait, what? Why is he just chilling there? Hello? So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Miss Suzuto? Yeah, let's leave. I agree. Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart? Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we'd like. We could brew just like Lord Van Zeek's in the background. She could have been at the center of the explosion here and it would have bent her steel will. She could have been smack dab in the explosion and just brushed that off. What are you doing? Least approachable man in the world winner 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistant stand firm behind you. I can't, I don't have enough courage. This is now a Persona game. I need to level up my courage so I can talk to him. I can feel his glare. Lord Van Zeeks? Hi. What? God, I miss voicing you. Well... Beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? Oh... I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you Nipponese are quite unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. Oh, I did read them, alright. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Well, the thing is... Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. I mean... He said, don't disturb anything, not anyone. Never mind. State your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zeeks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it has nothing to do with this. Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try. Oh, well, I bet he's gonna be thrilled with the moment we ask about his brother. I'm certain he won't kill me. So, Clint... I think he's like 5 seconds away from murdering me right now. Was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zeeks. You Nipponese. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. The bombs are his glare is killing me on the inside. Someone help me. So you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? Is something funny? I was not expecting a laugh out of him. That's the extent of what you discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry, there's more to it then. Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? Damn. You're too kind. You're going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident? As it happens, Lord Van Zeeks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month, I feature in one of the displays there, for public scorn. course, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? That's rough. Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from that place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork, which... Wait, you mean... Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which, according to the Professor Harebrain, was a tall, thin gentleman who has a straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but, we very much appreciate any clues you can give us. Wow, Suzuto-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Oh, so that's what he looks like. Though it appears he's already had that black monocle at the time. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why shouldn't I show you the photograph? What is it about Lord Van Zeeks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Okay, well we got that going for us. Oh, hello. Ah, the file requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright? Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo? Lord Van Zeek's apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susan can see it too. Lord Van Zeeks? May we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Kazuma-sama! What? Kazuma? I don't believe it. Your posture, your presence. It can only be... It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. No. Ain't no way. Can it really be you, Kazuma? Wait! Too late. What's going on here? Where'd you find this guy? What's your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced me to him about 3 months ago now. with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. Oh. He has amnesia? Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant, on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us? Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes, thank you. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Suzuto called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. She called out Kazuma-sama. Alright, well, I've seen enough here. I think it's time to go home, honestly. Actually, we need to visit here. We haven't gone here yet. Well, I'm not sure what I expected out of a forensic laboratory, but I didn't know they'd be keeping skeletons over there. Perfect time for Halloween, honestly. 23rd October, forensic laboratory. I believe this is it. Dr. Sai's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose, and there's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too. It looks as though the doctor isn't here. We're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you become, Miss Suzuto. We could just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Well, look at this. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers are very skilled, aren't they? Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo? Nope, I pretend I do not see it. Miss Suzuto, can't you tell I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of the case? Oh, how did I know that was going to be his response? It's how I cope. I'll be sure to remember that from now on. I'm trying not to pay attention to it. Can't make me. What's in here? I suppose this is Dr. Sai's desk. I would not like to work at a place like this. It's very tidy though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work. The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes. The chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves. Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose. I can just about cope with a one-eyed Daruma doll watching over me, but that's all. Look at all those bottles on the shelves and those cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labeled highly toxic. That's worrying, because there are also things that look like salt and pepper in here. Do not go cooking in here, please. Oh yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals in here sometimes. Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. What is happening here? I can't even examine this. I can examine this part. A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? It might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this asserted odor of chemicals in the air? You either have to be cast iron constitution or have a really terrible sense of smell. And we can look up here. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. I suppose they're fruit liquors or something. Or like pickled, umbashi plums we make back home. Ah, Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in preserving solution. Probably as examples of some rare medical condition. Mrs. Ito, there are some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to know about. Ever. Ever. Oh, so as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liquors or some, yeah, definitely no floating parts or some, what have you in there. Of course. Okay. Have I examined everything in here? I believe so. I can look at nothing else. Alright, well, I guess we just have to move on somewhere else. Okay. Been here, been... Actually, let's revisit this real quick, see if anything's changed. Nothing has changed. Alright, never mind. We're leaving. Well... Let's go check on our client, see how he's doing. Oh my god, that is a lot of math. That is in fact way too much math. 23rd October, local prison cell 2. Jesus Christ. What's he doing? He's... Oh my, the whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. And who is this young lady? My name is Suzuto Mikitoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Ah, if only I met her a fine young woman like you sooner. None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in the court this morning. Oh no, no. The whole thing, the whole miserable affair, it all happened because I've been such a complete and utter clot. Professor Hairbrain, what have you been working on in your cell? Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see. I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had to hand. Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? Ah, no, actually. This is my autobiography. What? Your autobiography is a bunch of equations? How? What? How do you translate this? Your autobiography? How I was diddled and fiddled. Okay. That's a title. Oh, no. Okay. I found out that I can represent my odd fortunes with odd numbers and inventions of a set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm gonna have to pay all back out the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to be a serial publication for next month. Part 1, An Odd Birth, An Odd Upbringing. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little bit more about the case? Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled. I was fiddled. Please stop saying that. By the pair of them. What do you mean? This guy's out of his mind. By Asman and by that aloof engineer Drebber. We're not gonna have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? I sure hope not. Bro, looking at the equations back there, some of them are like actual formulas. Actually, they all might be, but I only recognize like half of them from like physics and chemistry class. All the other ones, I'm just drawing a complete blank about. Oh my god. Everything I believed in has turned it on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I want to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you did something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference whether if you were aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. He believed in me this morning, you know. Brock did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No, Brock wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. That's a good question. Why did he? After that terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt with some kind of finishing blow there. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Barack, I'm sure the prosecution would declare my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly, which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Barack insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with the kind-hearted soul idea? Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I had written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused, he was so empathetic. But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But the scale of it, it wasn't just some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their regarding ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Yo, join the club. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work just to earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all that, only but to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe. It is, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asban is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer. Mr. Enoch Drebber. Is he an engineer, or a magician, or a swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Asban first brought Mr. Drebber to meet me in my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine, but at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question about the man's genuine scientist. Oh, I see. But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us as to his whereabouts? I'm sorry, we only need to discuss the kinesis machine, nothing else. Although, just once, I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed my great machine. Bruh. Why didn't you mention this before? Enoch Drebber's workshop. There's every chance we might find the man there. Where is it? So you've been to Mr. Drebber's place of work then? Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place, plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a good chance that we'll find Mr. Drebber there. Well, yes, definitely. I'm sure, as in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. What? Huh? I'm so sorry. I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded to the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then. The place was incredible, the pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best. A special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain here in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. No. What do you think, Miss Suzuto? You did machine for your next birthday? I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you even know the part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't even have a business card for Mr. Drebber, for example? Man was clearly very cautious, Mrs. Joe. We don't have... Ah-ha! I do! He gave me his business card once. It's right here, look! What? Let me see that! Throw etiquette to the wind, why don't you? Enoch Drebber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address. No. Oh well, can't say I'm surprised. Yo, the business card, all it's got is his name. That's it? Wow, alright. Still, this could be useful. No. I'm looking on the back of that card. I swear to God, if something's on the back and we only look at the front. This dark smudge here. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Ah yes, possibly. Professor Hairbrain mentioned something about the oil Mr. Drebber uses, didn't he? He said it was specifically imported very high-quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Yes, that's right, but more importantly, that it's more fragrant than the finest perfume, so excuse me for a moment. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all. Don't worry, I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on here. Dope. And apparently that was enough to update it. Yeah, what was the other thing I got again? Alright, picture. Can't really do anything with this, though. Alright, well, thanks for at least giving us the card, but now I'm out of ideas. What's going on back here? 23rd October, Sholmes is sweet. No one's here. Wait, no. Wait. I swear to God, he better not be hiding in here. Yeah, come to think of it, where is Holmes at? What is he doing with his life? Watch him be back in my room. Nope. Nothing here. Alright. Now I just gotta mosey around till I watch something happen. Yeah, what is actually that on the floor? Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned. Yes, and that's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident. Poor Professor Hairbrain. I do feel sorry for him and that his dreams have been shattered like this. Someone's well truly burst his bubble, as it were. Too soon. Ouch, I'm a bad person. Yes, I am. Alright, well, at least I can admit it. Alright, maybe... back here? Nope. Nothing changed. I guess by process of elimination, we come back here. No, not even here either. Okay, here we go. This is where we play the game of, how do I progress the plot? I don't imagine we come back here, do we? There's no way. Nope, he's still gone. Alright, what do we do? But actually, I haven't gone up to the experimental stage yet, so, you know, let's go back up there. Excuse me, Gina, I need to go up these stairs, like, right now. Did anything change up here? Nope, you're still brooding. Sup? Alright, well, you know what? While you're doing that, I'm gonna go. Oh god. I'm actually lost. I'm cooked right now. Suzuto, what do I do? Do you know? I honestly never thought I'd have the opportunity to return to Great Britain. It's certainly not so soon. Yeah, examine further. Yeah, that's what I might have to do. I probably have to investigate, like, one of the scenes. I just don't know which one. It's funny, for the past 6 months, I haven't been able to work in court. Meanwhile, you've been raising a storm in the Supreme Court of Judice back in Japan. Please, Mr. Naruhodo, I may have been dressed as a man, but it was a very reserved performance. So what your father said in his letter about our Reitaro takedown is reserved? Yeah, you freaking threw the killer. Unbelievable. Well, anyway, I'm back here in this great capital now. I'm ready to assist you again, in any way I can. Thank you, Miss Suzuto. It's my pleasure, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright, well, I guess we just gotta poke around everywhere and see what we could find. You know, I haven't actually looked at the experimentation stage when I was up there. I just talked to Van Zeeks and just left. Now let's look up there. Oh, it's beautiful. What a shame that the symbolic landmark of Great Britain exhibition has been damaged like that. Yes, unfortunately, the birdcage crashed into the most prominent position possible. It's the gods giving us a warning, if you ask me. Man must travel under his own steam and not cut corners with the instantaneous kinesis. But imagine what it might have happened if the birdcage had landed correctly in a slightly different location. The death toll could have been far worse. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise. Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own steam, or next the bird cages will rain down on all of you. Your faith is much stronger than I realized. Well, how do you think I was passed the entrance exam for Yume University, huh? It wasn't by studying alone. Damn, I am bad at studying. I can look at this. The stage up there is where the experiment was set up. It's very high, isn't it? About 30 feet, I believe. Or 9 meters if you prefer. Craning your neck to see what's to see up starts to hurt after a while, doesn't it? Yes, we need to get up there and look around properly. Although if I'm honest, climbing all those stairs makes my chest hurt. Oh dear. I think perhaps you should exercise more, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm just gonna examine one of these places. Just Holmes is gonna be chilling at. Wait a minute. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. Look at that horn-shaped transmitting device. Isn't it amazing? That's exactly what I thought when I first saw it. Makes you think, doesn't it? If only just been a normal horn, none of this would have happened. That's almost exactly what I thought as well. I bet I can predict what you're going to say next in that case. You're about to say, nothing ever goes to plan, aren't you? Oh no, I would never say something like that. There's gotta be something around here to mess with. Actually, we can't even touch anything. What a terrible explosion that must have been. Even the steel girders have been buckled and twisted in the blast. And what they call a bird cage was right in the middle of it all, just here. But look, Mr. Naruhodo, the metal grill on the floor. It looks as though it was designed to open. It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment where the explosion occurred, the birdcage would have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Interesting. This wasn't here yesterday. Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air. That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrain said in court, it's made of wood. Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What a wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo? I understood the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they finished their work. But sadly, not with the body inside it. No, that's right. I know we're given the stern instructions not to touch anything, but still. This is too important of a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. Oh, nice. Got birdcage. Okay, maybe that's the one thing I needed. You already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, yesterday in fact, at Lord Van Cease's office. I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Miss Suzuto. Of course. Alright, not allowed back up there again, so something must have changed. Are you back from whatever it is you're doing now? Nope! Hey, just making double sure Holmes is not hiding in here somewhere, as he typically likes to do. Alright, no. Alright, in that case... Anything going on back here? I swear to God, he's hiding here somewhere. Let's check out here a little bit more. Examine the cage again. Oh, right, I can examine the cage. I'll do that after the... Actually, I could do it right now. Look at cage. Look here, Mrs. Ito. Oh yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose because it fell from such a height. Yes, from a height which the balloon was flying down into the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet or 9 meters, leaving the man inside tragically dead. And it got updated. Okay, is there anything else we can look at? Nope, only the bottom part. Nothing else is important. Oh yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the House of Horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you? The sign says it's Madame Tuspel's special exhibit. It seems you have to pay extra to go inside. I know, can you believe that? Pay more money, as if we haven't been scarred enough already. It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo. Wait, what is this? No, not that part. This part. Ah, there's a stepladder there, look. Oh, yes, a stepladder. I think perhaps we should have let the proprietress know that someone left it out. The stepladder, I mean. Oh, are we doing this joke again? Is something wrong? Why do I feel as though I just managed to sidestep an argument? It's a ladder, damn it. No, it's a stepladder. Ladder. Stepladder. Why do I have a feeling this joke is gonna be dragged down into other Ace Attorney games? Okay, so I have cage, I have picture, I have business card. What do I do with them? There has to be something I haven't investigated yet. I already looked at everything in here. Let me go back to the wax museum one more time and just... I'm gonna poke my head into everything. Including this guy. The old policeman isn't here now, obviously. I still can't believe he just happened to be on the jury, though. I understood that London has a population of 6 million people, and yet... You do seem to run the same people disproportionately often, don't you? They ran out of assets. Let's see, anything else I can... Nothing else I can look at on that side, and I can look at this! This one's posture reveals his weakness. Sorry? The killer's stance leaves him wide open to attack. I'm quite sure I could see him off. With the Suzuto takedown, then a Suzuto squash, and finally a Suzuto smash. Right. And if that doesn't render the culprit unconscious, a Suzuto slam should finish him. A Suzuto slam? Oh, I'm sorry, it's rather hard to explain. Leave yourself open slightly and I'll demonstrate. Absolutely not. Nope. Not in this lifetime. Alright. So that's out. Nothing else we could do here. Wait, I feel like we need to spend a little bit more time investigating here. What do you mean? I looked at everything. Or at least I feel like I looked at everything. Unless there's like one thing I missed. No? I got the check mark for everything. I'm good. Alright, what we might need to do, I might need to show someone something. And as for whom? I have no idea. Yeah, is there anything going on here? Nope, but I can poke my head around because he's not here to stop me. Look at this chair. Just sitting behind that desk makes me feel so important, don't you think? Would you like to have an office like this, Mr. Naruhodo? With such a grand desk? Who, me? No, I don't think so. Oh? Well, imagine if you suddenly found yourself needing the toilet. You have to go so far to go. How true. Perhaps the important people who work in this austere office like this haven't considered such things. I'm going to take that as a compliment. What about these suits of armor? These very European suits of armor are still glaring at each other across the carpet, I see. In a way, I feel like they're guardians of Lord Chief Justice's office. I suppose they're rather like lion dogs that guard the shrines of Japan, aren't they? Aren't they a bit too human to be called lion dogs? Did you know that it's a dream of mine to keep 2 cats one day? I feel as though we've gone off a bit off tangent, don't you? Aw. Let her dream, let her have her cats. And there's a bunch of books. You couldn't read all these books even if you were reincarnated 6 times over as a bookworm. Can Lord Strongheart really have read all these? Thinking about it, Father's study is full of books that look as though they've never been read, too. Oh, really? Peddlers of books are forever pushing their wares on him, you see. And I think he's just too kind-hearted to refuse them. There's a phrase for that in Britain. People would say they saw him coming. Makes me wonder if perhaps the vast number of books on the shelves here are a sign of Lord Strongheart's overwhelming kind-heartedness. I'm not sure you could afford to have a kind heart if you had to keep Lord Van Zeeks in line, could you? Are these books over here any different? Nope, all the same books. Alright, going back to jail. Alright, so let's see, what can we show you? Can you tell me anything? Oh, right, we probably have to show him the birdcage. Yo, actually, look at this. Professor Harebrain, what do you make of this? Oh yes, that's just what I need to prove my hypothesis. No, it's literally the thing you made, bro. Oh my god. Take it away. I don't want to be bothered with anything that doesn't have to do with science. Alright, keep your abundant hair on. Fine, be that way. What can you tell me about this dude? Nothing. Actually, is there anything I can examine in... Oh, no, I can't examine the... Yeah, I can't examine the background. Alright, so... I'm running out of places to explore. Gina, help me. Can you track down... Oh. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright, if it's around here... Oh, we already been through this. Okay, yeah, that's right. Hello, Toby. Apparently we can't look around on stage now because the forensic investigation team are at work. Can't you do anything, Gina? In your capacity as Inspector Lestrade? Look, I'd like to help you out. But I'm just a trainee, ain't I? Ain't nothing I can do. When it suits you, yes. Alright, so that's out. What do you know about this guy right here? Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where to go? No, don't take my picture. I'm trying to get you to track down this guy. Unbelievable. About this, Gina. Oh, it was the business card. Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning Meadows at the moment. I don't know A to E, so if it ain't so much bleeding, too much bleeding trouble. Actually, Gina, it's the back of a car that's important. How come? That's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. It turns out that this is a very high-quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say. Let's have a whiff, then. You sure? I don't smell nothing. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh, right. You mean Toby. Hi, Toby. Oh, that's how we do. Oh, okay, I get it. I'm putting the dots together. His sense of smell is so good he could track people over oceans, can't he? Professor Harebrained informs us that the oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop. I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean, if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to that dodgy Calv's workshop? That's right. That's exactly what we're hoping. Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. What? When did you... Once a pickpocket. If I can lead everyone to the Drebber's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted. Poor Gregson. He's enjoying his fish and chips. He'll be fine. Right then, Odo, leave it to me. Sorry? We're gonna go get going after that dodgy engineer Cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. It ain't gonna be me who gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson. Again. Ready, Toby? Got that oil scent, have ya? Come on then, boy. See you later. I do hope the scent of that oil leads them to the swindler's workshop. Yes, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Alright, do we have new location? We don't have new location. We don't have anything. Nope. Okay, well, I made progress, just not in the way I thought I would. Shrooms doesn't appear here. We need to come back again later. Alright, so we'll do... No. Come back later, as in not here right now. As in go somewhere else. Okay, so now that we got that squared away, we need to go... Hey, so we're tracking them down, but not sure how long I have to wait for that to happen. Probably a while. Still nothing going on in here. Nope. So let's see, what, Watch him actually be hiding in my room somewhere. Nope. Alright, let's move somewhere else. I mean... Sorry, like, the description is bugging me. It's like, I think we need to investigate a little more here. And I'm like, what do you mean? I've already checked marked everything. Oh, I have not checked this, though. Wait. I could have sworn I've gone over that. What is this? That looks like an owl and a crow up there. I know, and they haven't twitched since we came in here. Well, no, they wouldn't have. They're taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo. I was afraid you were going to say that. I'm trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like that, like your Dororo doll, on display in the office instead. Okay, now we've truly examined everything in here. But then, where does that leave us? God, I'm gonna be lost for a while on this one. No, ain't no way. Ain't no way Mr. Sholm is gone for that long. He's hiding somewhere again. You cannot tell me otherwise. Where is he? Where is that son of a gun? Wait, actually, what happens if I try to examine the stage and go up? Let's look at the tower real quick. Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it at such close proximity with my own eyes. You've really been looking forward to the grand exhibition, haven't you, Mrs. Ito? Oh yes, when I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck. But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower. I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly. We better not try going up the stairs to this stage area now. If we were to bump into the forensic investigation team, it looks like it could be trouble. It sounds like it could be trouble. Okay, so that's out. Okay, so there's nothing else we can look at here. Can I find another crossbow on the ground? Actually, let me take a look at my... Oh, okay. There we go. So, just double checking, is there anything else that's off with this thing? I feel like I should be able to look at the door. Or, you know, this very big hole. But, apparently that's just too much to ask for. Like, yeah, these were the only... Well, actually, technically I got 3 things, but then Gina took away my, my business card, and now it is confiscated. I basically talked with him all I know. Air balloon. Let's see. I tried putting my cursor over that, and nothing happened. Oh wait. Oh, that is a ridiculously small hitbox. Oh my god, I hate it here. Oh look, a flying balloon. I've never seen one in the flesh before. I can't understand how they fly, and it's so high up as well. But think of the view, Mr. Naruhodo. You must be able to see for miles and miles. I do think of it, and it terrifies me. After all, I mean, it'd be certain death if you fell out. I'm sure they're perfectly safe. After all, they've been invented by some of the brilliant minds in the world. Let's not forget that we know at least one has exploded. I'm sure there are other ways to fly. They just haven't been invented yet. There's gotta be like one thing we're missing. There's like one thing. Right now I'm scanning everything. Watch that one air balloon be the one thing I need to examine. Okay, nope, never mind. Alright, well, I think, even though I probably don't need to be here, might as well do it anyway. My eyes was drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sholmes and Iris use as a coffee table. Isn't that where Iris keeps her very important papers? It is, so you'd think they treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it. Oh no! I suppose something must have been frustrating him. What a shame to mistreat the furniture, though. Was it damaged? The chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes. Oh dear, that is a painful tale. Yeah, he's fine. Let's look at all this goofy stuff. This is Mr. Sholmes' famous violin. One he found being sold for a song at the pawnbrokery. What was it again? Shodi something? Oh, it's a wonderful instrument features in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. It's a world-famous oh god, that's a word that melts my brain. Stardo what? Stradivarius, Mr. Naruhodo. Stradivar. Are you even trying now? Nope. We'll come back to this another time, I think. I finally managed to remember this behemoth's name. The Great Analytoscope. I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it? Oh, is that right? Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker. Ah, of course. Oh, that's given me a wonderful idea. I could pawn everything that's on your desk. The office would be tidy at last. Don't even joke about that, Mr. Zato. You're joking, aren't you? Please don't sell all my stuff. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and a lot of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help but feeling that the whole lot is going to topple over at any moment. It looks as though it might topple, and yet it doesn't. The epitome of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance. I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well versed when it comes to stacking shelves myself. Just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave way under strain, though. It looks as though it might topple, and it does. Yes, the epitome of your disarray. I really don't get it. Well, his place is a mess, and yet it works just fine for him. You know, good for him, honestly. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we've arrived in the country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs under a warm, blanketed table is so comforting. Do be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't mistakenly put your feet into the fire, will you? You suffer terrible burns, you know. I worry sometimes about how Mrs. Zuto sees me. I'm not that clumsy, am I? Ah yes, Mr. Jones' curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he solved. It's one of my favorite parts of this room, full of items with such exciting tales to tell. I do believe he's added to it since the last I looked. Now there's a mysterious pince-nez, a mysterious little box, a mysterious horseshoe, a mysterious biscuit. There's a biscuit in there. I think the last one might be just one of Iris's unfinished snacks. Then there's Iris's stuff. Iris's pretty little tea set is sitting out beautifully as ever. Look. Well, it's only by carefully taking care of the tea set you can make good tea. Is that a roundabout way of telling me I need to tidy up my desk? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you do overthink things at times. Clean your room! No! That's Iris's wonderful collections of medicines, potions, and chemicals. Just look at all those little bottles she squeezed onto the shelves. Yes, and there are charming little ribbons tied around the bottles too. But the labels aren't quite so charming, are they? This one here reads Deadly Poison. Oh, I've been so excited to see the idea of Iris helping out with their experiments, you know. Just try to avoid any bottles labeled Deadly Poison or highly explosive. Which they are very common for some reason up there. If I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter. To think that every single one of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes blossomed from this very machine. Ah, it's such a dreamy thought. I actually had to go on it the other day. The metal bars move as you hit the keys and got all tangled up somehow, and that made Iris angry. Mr. Naruhodo, you're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again. My bad. Now I made Suzuto-san angry as well. Well, that's about all I can examine in here. The only place I have not examined is my own room. Behold, my desk. You see, I've been keeping my desk beautifully covered in papers as always. You really must tidy it all up, Mr. Arhodo. No more excuses. But Miss Suzuto, the way I see it, all these papers building up on my desk like this are a reminder of my wonderfully diverse daily life. I like to leave them as they are, so I never forget how lucky I am to have such varied experiences. In that case, you should definitely have a thorough tidy. Then you'll be able to see your papers building up all over again and feel that joy renewed. Still can't beat her in an argument, even though I'm a lawyer, even though I'm the lawyer here. You have water gently boiling on the stove, I see. It feels wrong somehow if I can't hear the water bubbling away. And we have plenty of logs. It's not like we have to worry about paying for gas. It's important to open the window for fresh air when the fire's burning, though. You can't keep it closed just because it's cold outside. It could be a matter of life and death. Avoid the freezing winter air is a matter of life and death too, if you ask me. It's too cold. Oh well, perhaps a nice cup of tea will warm you up later. Shovel. Thinking back, that spade's been in here since we first moved in, hasn't it? I'm sure I told you before, Mr. Naruhodo, it's not a spade, it's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Yes, hiding by... No! That's not what it's for. Bruh. I see, so they ditched the stepladder bit and then went with the shovel bit. I see what you did there. Well played, Ace Attorney. Well played. The Great Spade Shovel War rages on. Table. I left your desk completely untouched, Miss Suzuto, so it will be ready for you whenever you return. It's beautifully clean. There isn't a speck of dust on it anywhere. You've been cleaning it in my absence, Mr. Naruhodo? Whatever next? Well, I couldn't allow my great assistant's desk to sit there all gathering dust, could I? It really is exactly as it was when I left. I'm so touched. But sadly, your desk is also exactly as it was too. I knew she was going to comment on my desk. Bruh. Well, that's exactly how it should be after all. Oh dear. I had forgotten how that clean-cut smile can be so disarming.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Honestly, that's how I feel. Your room is through there. Your room through there should be exactly as you left it. I've still never been inside. I've never been invited. Of course not. Only Iris is allowed in my room. No doubt I'll be hearing you two giggling away in there again then. I'm trying to sleep at night, come on! Wait, I can examine this. I see your Daruma has still only one eye filled in. Well, we agreed that it's something we do together, didn't we? We can do it right now if you like. I'd be happy with that. I rather like the anticipation, I think, Mr. Naruhodo. And then I've examined everything in my own room. I think? Yeah. Alright, so then I beg the question again, where do I go? I'm so lost. Come on, you have to be back right now, right? Impossible. I refuse to believe this. I can't even, like, look left or right or anything. Like, this is the extent of what I got. Unless I have to re-examine something. I remember there was, like, one point in the game where I had to do that, but I'm like, where? I like how I could look at the tools, but not the freaking bed over here. Yeah, look in the lab again. That's what I'm doing. But everything I've... Oh my god! Alright, I found it, I think. The book counts as a separate entity rather than the entire desk as a whole. I'm actually mad about that. God damn it. Look at this big, thick book here. It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh? What is it? It's clear from that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. 500? They must be working really hard dissecting corpses. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances, and scalpel blades can be sharpened too. It does seem a bit strange, you're right. 500 scalpels in a month. What could they possibly be using them all for? There we go. The freaking book. What are you doing? I've been waiting for you to show up. I don't want to hear it. Ah. Hello, madam. Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so 500, that's a lot of bodies. Listen, autopsies are not authorized yet in this timeline, so I don't know what they're using them for. So you thought you'd snoop around. That's unacceptable from to you people in the East, is it? Well, what do you want? Lord Strongheart told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asman's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings, on Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. Okie dokie. What you got? So, you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene. The victim, Mr. Adi Osman, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asman who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower. Without question, one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who look very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Fingerprints. They're not officially recognized as forensics evidence in the British justice system, but one day, they will be used as investigative aid as a matter of course. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So, where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Yeah, that's kind of our job, isn't it? Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Oh, nice mask. Mama, who is this? What? Where did she spring from? And did she call the doctor Mama? This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. To meet you. Pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mama? Yes. Can I cut this one up? Huh? What? I had never seen the inside of an Eastern person before. I want to know what it's like. Oh god. I stumbled in the wrong part of town. Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, as you can very well see. Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo, you're as pale as a corpse. Please don't say that out loud. Yeah, then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber, I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet with him after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful, you're right. We have to find him at Madame Tuspel's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. Yes, Iris told all about his latest unusual venture. Okay, bye. Good talk. See you later. October 23rd, Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxworks. Here we are again, at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't gotten used to this place yet. Yo, I'd rather take this place over the freaking lab we were just at. I was about to get sliced and diced. I still like to turn my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery, of course. Suzuto-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Eek! What's the matter? Look, Mr. Naruhodo, look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. There he is. It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. Aha! What is it? Oh, sorry. I think you'll find that's the temporary waxwork himself. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Oh yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I must say, I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he is feeling hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitable duties. Yes. His habitable duties? Alors. Do not disturb. Poor Suzuto-san. She looks very perplexed. But listen, we gotta talk to him. What are you doing, bro? Really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I'm longing to say hello again. But where is he? I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually. Oh, wait, what are you... Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I! Oh, I definitely missed voicing you. The world-famous detective in waxwork, Herlock Sholmes. Suzuto-san! Suzuto-san! Oh, she fainted. Okay. My most humble apologies. I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment, via London. My dearest madam, allow me to make amends by offering you at least a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We were talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess I've yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter. Dang, he's hungry. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, I do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? Oh yes, it was the most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people so far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received from here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's amazing. Just between you and I, it would appear that the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event. Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no? Yes, I think perhaps. The ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary? A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tuspel's at all costs. A hungry young iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. And she'll rip my... and Tuspel's will rip my head off. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with the great waxworks? Blah, blah. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh? Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain, the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on. That's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It's a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help. Yes, Drebber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I shall gladly give you my thoughts on it. Cosmo's death. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? Ooh, this part. Now this I gotta hear. My dearest Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship. Your words were very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. You told us there was murder, and you examined Cosmo-sama's body. Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today, the victim, Kazuma Sogi. You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask, was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless! I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I can believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Sholmes. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It would serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. Alright, well that was something. He said... I don't know what his motive is for lying to us, but... you know what, let's forget about that now. Here's a picture. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber, the face of the engineer we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course. So looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? Ah yes, forgive me. Very interesting this, very interesting indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You turned quite pale all of a sudden. I have a suggestion, Mr. Arhodo. Will you indulge me? Oh, well, what is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it now has been taken, behind those thick curtains. Oh yes, the Professor exhibit, isn't it? Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings. That's a special one-time only price, you understand. What? The opportunity will come again, I might add. Would you like to see the fruits of my labor? Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone? The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's very well worth it. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you only need to look at my expression to ascertain that if this is the full seriousness or silliness. I can never tell with you, that's the point. Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit. Okay. Through those heavy curtains at last. What are we expecting to find, exactly? Alright, we're going in. 5 shillings we've had to pay. Didn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it? No. Ah, we could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking law into their own hands or chip-loving inspectors. Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think. He's the most normal one out of all of them. Somehow. With his infinite fish and chips. 23rd October, Manifest Bells, special exhibit. What the hell? Oh dear, I felt the shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here. Mr. Zato, I say we turn on our heels and go straight home via a really big confectionery. We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already. True. Well, money spent. Actually, now that I'm looking a little more closely, we paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. It's missing a head. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more than terrifying than anything else in this place. That's what Mr. Sholmes said when he said the case was largely solved. Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied that there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we? Yes, we will get what we paid for. Is that fear or frustration that makes Suzuto's voice tremble? Alright, let's see this freaking head. This must be the killer. The fiend known as the Professor. Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place. I know, it looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Alright, close enough. So this is the condemned man. Yes, the so-called professor. Then, perhaps, his head was chopped off by a guillotine. But, unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost. Do we have to entertain such a terrifying idea as Miss Suzuto? Anyway, I'm sure that the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see? Then perhaps Mr. Sholmes absent-mindedly forgot to reattach it? That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum? And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Could there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason. It means we don't know about the face of the infamous what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. There's something caught just on the inside of the convict's jacket here. Looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece, too. Wait a minute. Ain't no way. Is that from the Crystal Tower? No, it's gotta be. It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say. Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder? I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength? But why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example. Ah, well, we've seen a large glass building recently too, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken too. You don't mean... Exactly. The Crystal Tower of the Grey Exhibition. But why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside this waxwork's jacket? It makes you think, doesn't it? Earlier in court, we established that the kinesis machine experiment was a trick. Now we discover this fragment of glass in here in the waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? Is there anything else I can look at? Nope. This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real. Seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. And he has a large shovel in his hand too, look. Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail. Camera? What's this here? Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera. A camera, but it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints? I think perhaps you treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would a man be in a graveyard at night with a camera? I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. We'll just borrow this for a while, I think. Nice. Got a camera. By looking at the photographic plate on the inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken. What's a photographic plate? It's a piece of glass coated in special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look. You should see yourself, Suzuto-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? Okay, anything else I can look at? I can look at lamp and shovel. That's quite a large lamp the man's carrying. Or is it a lantern? It's not like a Japanese chochin paper lantern, actually, is it? Lamp, lantern, chochin. The point is, it casts very little light. To be walking alone in a graveyard with only this. Well, I certainly couldn't do it. I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight, to be honest. Shovel? What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth is this man doing with a shovel in the graveyard in the middle of the night? Miss Suzuto? Yes? That's a spade, isn't it? Ah, here we go again. No, it's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. We've been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel. No. Although, we haven't considered trowels. We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement. So we're gonna bury the hatchet? You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. Anything else we can look at? Can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just... Oh, do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruhodo? I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. Oh my god. Ah! What on earth? How can... I don't believe it. A black monocle! Mr. Naruhodo, is it possible that this man is... Yes. It's Enoch Drebber. The color of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Mr. Sholmes. This man is certainly the subject of your present hunt, I believe. Yes, that's right. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. So then, the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate this missing head, to the suite, as Madame would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. A very hungry iris still awaits my return to Baker Street. Preferably with rations. Ah. Do you know, though, something about this room is strange. Strange? What do you mean? Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not? Indeed they are, Mrs. Uto. Do go on. And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely could never have really happened. Could it? I think it's time I educated you a little about the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago. I believe I told you a little bit about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Oh gosh, an enormous hound? How awful. After taking the life of his fifth victim, the killer was apprehended. It was the case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you see. You understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were prohibited. Permitted. Closed court? So you mean the professor's identity? As you surmise, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty, and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He's buried in a grave at Nugget Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. Oh? The very night he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Came back to life? He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts the very scene, as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. There was a witness? But of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than the young man in the white overcoat, Enoch Drebber. He saw it happen? So this is a waxwork model of Enoch Drebber. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old. It's so horrifying. Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he's seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Yes, as shown in the photograph we have of him, his hair is completely white. For the following days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page of the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, the exhibit was created here at Madame Tuspel's. I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. What I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing here in the first place, in a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night. Yes, what was he up to? The professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes into a complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, and at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abunded. After all, no killer had never before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder. Yes, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did the talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale. But why did people stop believing it? Veer's homicide cover-up services, how can I help? Veer, what is going on here? What am I looking at? Yes, please help me out to understand what it is I'm witnessing. How you doing, Veer? What's up? But why did people stop believing it? Why? Simply because there was no resurrection to speak of, as it was established in fact. What do you mean by no resurrection? The police investigated the grave in Nugget Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried where it had been following the execution. Nothing important. Yeah, that sounds really ominous coming from you. What did you do? You're up to something, I know you are, Veer. Don't you lie to me. You buying more ankles again? I told you, you can have one ankle per weekend. That's it. Alright, that's your limit. No, but that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers. That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society, and nothing has been heard of him since. It's rather striking, then, that he should resurface now, don't you think? Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really come back to life. That's not possible. But Mr. Drebber's hair is unusually white. If that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. Just kidding, I was playing Overwatch. You better go out and play the game in every single game, or I swear to God, you're banned. Come on, I want to see that team kill. Oh my God! Hello, Gina. What the bleeding Noro? Oh yeah, I totally got play of the game. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? Tell me in great detail how this was done. Man. What are the bleeding Noro? Oh no, what have you gone and done? I didn't touch anything in here. Gina, what are you doing here? Oh no, she's loading her gun. I asked Iris and she said this is where you be, so... Gina, not allowed in the museum. Madame Tuspels would have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful. I think there might be a more pressing concern. I still got some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... Would you stop shooting the gun in here? Alright, Gina, we understand, but please put down the gun. It's mad. Sorry, I guess I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina? What brings me here? What do you think? We found it. We found that dodgy Cove's workshop. What? You found Mr. Drebber's workshop? Yeah, with the help of a puppy. Toby the puppy. Automatically the best character in this game. Yup, Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss and the others were heading over there now in a drag, so come on. Here's the address. I got the boss to write it out. Oh, thank you, Gino. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then, see you there. Dog, yeah, his name is Toby. This is so cute. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here. Being still. What? I know my place. In the exhibit over there. Oh dear, someone is feeling sorry for himself. Yeah, he's feeling so sorry for himself, his eyes disappeared. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes, you're coming. Your words harden me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here, Madam would have me pay monetary recompense, and Iris's dinner plate would be empty once more. Forget that, I'll pay for everything. Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail the carriage at once. Now he's all for it. No offer to share the cost for Mr. Holmes, then. I shall gladly pay for half, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Mr. Zato. Right, let's go. Ah, to be poor. Yo, he's just like me for real. Oh, look at this place. 23rd October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. What is going on here? He's really just like me for real. That looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype, naturally. Ah, so what do you got there, then? Gina, well done for finding this place. In such little time, you really worked miracles. It's Toby here is the miracle worker. Yes, good puppy. Aww. Ah, I thought your lot would show up here before long. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. Looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer?
Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to that clue you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I?
Thank you.
Anyway, if you're open to snoop around in here, I'll get cracking. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensic investigation team are on their way here as we speak.
Them again.
I imagine you got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types.
Right. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance.
And you, Sholmes.
Pardon?
They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do lawyers.
Very droll, Gregson, very droll. I don't want your best viewers, honestly. You can have them. Honestly, I think they're not as best as you're making them out to be. Get out of here. There we go. But you may consider me nothing more than inconspicuous waxwork model.
Yeah, it's just a waxwork, honestly.
Sorry, I'm just fiddling with something. Why can't I drag this over? Ah, well, it's fine. Right then, let's see what we can find here. How about that? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruto, that machine is covered by the Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if we were to examine it, from Crown and the government.
Well, those two don't seem to be holding back.
It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow.
No loose change dropped on the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Tubby here, my dear fella.
British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they?
I think that's just these two, Mrs. Ito.
See, I can look at this. What is this? Trophy? Ah, this appears to be most interesting indeed. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I've no doubt if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away.
What?
It's a Royal Scientific Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Ah. Oh, there we go. Would you like a massage?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
I had no idea this was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there must be much more to this Enoch Drebber than meets the conjuring tricks.
I couldn't agree more, my dear madam.
And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Would you like to take it with you?
For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not gonna let that go, is he?
It's curious though, isn't it? You expect such an important trophy to be probably on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times.
I got a science trophy. Into my pocket you go. What on earth is this?
An aeroplane, Mr. Naruto. One day scientists believe it'll allow humans to fly freely in the skies.
Is that how the trick will be described, is it?
Sorry?
Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it? Where does all the evidence go? It goes in my pocket. I literally carry it in my back pocket at all times. See that trophy? I just put it in my pants. And then I just have like... And then also I have a crossbow. Like, what do I have on me? I have a crossbow. I have... screwdriver, I have all these pictures, I have a scrap of killing cloth sticking out of the pocket, yeah, sticking out the ass pocket. I also have a piece of broken glass, which is, it sounds painful to put in my pocket, but it's there regardless. I have this gigantic bird cage that's bigger than I am. You know, nothing is off limits.
Oh well, this model is, yes, but a real aeroplane would actually fly high in the sky.
While suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course. Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in the mid-air unsupported.
So to you, the solution is even taller towers?
Alright, we looked at that. What's over here? This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on the way over here from the yard, so hands off till he gets here.
With permission, Inspector, I can have that lock open in less than a minute.
Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you. Oh, he's sad. Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that.
Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side. No, Trevor must have fled at the first sign of danger.
He knew we were coming. This is... Wait a minute. Those are arrows.
It's a European style of quivers. Quiver of arrows. With steel bolts inside. Oh, do you suppose?
Crossbow bolts, these. And just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at exhibition grounds. Yeah, which you didn't pick up. It was just on the ground. You guys are terrible at your jobs. There was a crossbow on the grass and you did nothing. Hi, Dom. Hi, Evie. How's it going? What's up? I hope you're doing well. Just busy, you know, being a top tier lawyer over here. Yo, if you ever need a lawyer, hit me up. I might not do the best job, but you know, I'll do my darn absolute best I can do. I'm good, chilling. Aw. Well, glad to see you. I love that freaking peach emote. That is actually really cute. I'll come out and make just because I agreed to defend you and I have no license to do so does not mean I give you permission to commit crimes. That is the exact opposite of what I mean. No, you can't just do that. Evie, please. Listen, just don't make my job harder. In other words, yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole crime. That's some Maya level logic right there. Listen, you can't do that. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Maya is kind of a goober head. Okay, maybe there is someone behind that door. Also, welcome back, John.
Oh, is something wrong, Mrs. Ito? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, do you hear it too?
Yeah, I heard it all. What do you reckon, Toby? Also, look at our little dog. His name is Toby. I will protect this dog with my life. Aw. Right, mind the grease. What is in there? Who's ever in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. Sound like they ran away. Or not. Oh my, someone is in there. Gah, this rotten bleeding lock. My dearest Gregson, I said only minutes ago. If only it were curtains, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. I only know Toby for 3 seconds, but if anyone happened to it, I would destroy everyone in this room and then myself. Honestly agreed. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. Click. There, you may enter at will. You confuse minutes with seconds, I think. Goddamn. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Another 4, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes! Oh. Is that a bomb? What's happened in here? Why is everything upside down? Rats! They ain't anyone in after all. But there must be. It was only moments ago we heard those noises. How did a mud truck get on the ceiling? I don't know. Maybe that was the sound of Mr. Drebber running away. Where did he go? Is there like a hidden door in here? But there's only one door into this room. And no windows that could afford an escape route. The skylights are too high. Unless he walked on the ceiling. What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me. No. What are we in then? Okay, I feel like you guys are missing the obvious dynamite in the middle of the room. Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Hairbrain's bombing machine, is it? Blimey, if only we had these, there would be no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. This is something of great interest here, too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. I'm eating soup. What kind of soup? A rope? What's significant about that? Delectable, yummy soup. Yeah, I'm glad you specified. Dumb, when you're an experienced C4 dealer myself, a puny bundle of TNT, no skin off my nose. I feel like it would still hurt, though, if it went off, like, point blank in front of you. Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, before the forensic investigation team arrive, too. Alright, you know, I'm just gonna look at the obvious thing, like, what is this? What is going on here? Chinese veggie soup, to be exact? That sounds kind of good right now, I could go for that. Mr. Sholmes, have you found something? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. Wait, are we saying we don't know what dynamite is? Oh no. It looks like a bundle of cigars wrapped... Mr. Zuzo, what's the matter? That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What? What did you say? A time bomb? Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly? Eh? You drew that one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. You don't know nothing, do you, Odo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I must confess it has a very similar appearance.
Oh, well, thank goodness. But then, what is it?
I see. So that's it. What do you see?
Goodness, Mr. Sholmes. Have you seen to the heart of the matter?
There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. For I am fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Miss Suzuto. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the introverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself.
But how could you...
Close the door and leave the Sholmes in there, lock the door. Oh, I forgot, you freaking hate this guy. That's right. You know, this game, like, playing again and bring back such wonderful memories, including you hating the absolute hell out of Holmes. And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine.
But Mr. Sholmes, please Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything.
It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach the Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. Damn. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway.
Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done.
You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly just stand there, Mrs. Zuto.
Oh, yes. I'd be delighted.
Suzuto, don't encourage her, but no, John, you don't understand. Suzuto is like freaking Holmes's #1 fan. I don't think you're gonna sway her. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh boy, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Alright, topic 1. Flipped furniture. There's no way he's about to say this entire room flipped upside down. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in this room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down to the floor.
Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that...
Indeed, the key here is gravity. What is he doing some kind of DO time stop? What is this? It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the pull of the earth. Is that why the paintings are right side up? That's probably what we're going to need to point out to him. For the gravity in this room was reversed, and then suddenly restored to normality.
Goodness!
The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about this, the part the gravity played in the whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Miss Suzuto. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to the one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact. That's not how gravity works. Anti-gravity device, this freaking guy. We just said it was a time bomb like 5 minutes ago.
But then why does it have a clock on it?
My god, this guy. A most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls the gravity direction when the gravity direction will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard from the other side of the door the moment the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything is upside down, everything has been turned upside down, is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. I love how this guy makes you so mad, John. It's so funny. That is hilarious. The direction in which gravity acts here was reversed by Mr. Drebber, before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. Because gravity was reversed. Alright, big guy. He's just wrong enough to hit that sweet spot to piss me off. Oh, that's funny. Now, let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain this action is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that the footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there being footprints on the ceiling was because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Mr. Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there was but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is. You can't do that! By inverting gravity here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently into the ceiling and make his escape via otherwise the inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way. But the ceiling here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber had fallen up to the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was the only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Point guard to reverse, how do you make time flow backwards? That's not how the inversion of gravity works. Oh my god. This guy just makes you go off on a tangent, doesn't he? That's Sholmes for you. Oh, the rope. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than to use than this rope? By anchoring one end to the yawl, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Mr. Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I would very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. I must have a deep rooted PTSD from a child or something. Oh no. John, this is the intervention. Don't worry, Mr. Sholmes is here to talk to you about your problem. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Mess with the sticky dynamite. Don't let anyone stop you. Even Grace is like, what the hell? Gina's just hanging out with Toby, having a good time. Suito's like, even though he's his she's number one fan, it's just like, what the hell? She's completely spellbound. Oh, never mind, she's entranced. Okay, never mind. Opposite effect. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. She's too far gone. No. Be nice to see. So she's a good character. The thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean. I would say that with a man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. But your whole deduction hinges on it. But my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Oh, Doyle's roll. It's great. Yes, I have a feeling I've read it in something that Mrs. Ito lent me once.
Objection.
Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the spell's broken at last. The rope you found on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was! It lonely coils near the wall. But if Mr. Trevor was used it to escape the way you described, would it still be tied to the wall? Mysteries are inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find do ropes. As evidence of such, you only need to look at the mystery we faced in this room, now skillfully unraveled. That argument is circular as the coils of rope. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the great detective's deduction will lead us to the truth. Yes, you're right. We must do it quickly, before Enoch Driver gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Sholmes, Logic of Reasoning Spectacular. Alright, my turn. It's plain to see that this room is a complete disarray. The bed, the table, and the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in this room had until recently been happily postponed on the ceiling, positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down to the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that... Indeed, the key is here. The key here is gravity. It would appear that technology had at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed, and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part of the gravity played in the whole business. Do you think that gravity could have been reversed in this very room? I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive such of an explanation. But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so... Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that sounds unusually merciless of you, Miss Suzuto. When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? Or refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices? Yes, I suppose so. Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene in a little more closely. Reveal some proof that gives us exactly what the gravity was doing in this room was or wasn't doing. Alright. So we got furniture. What else we got? We got upright vase! Well, well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers here, that's for sure. Oh, look at that. I know, the slender vase looks like it's about to topple over at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. It somehow makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made a deeper impression on me. Yeah, I think it's the vase.
Take that!
Yep. My turn. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part that gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes, trust me. As you rightly say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down, this unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. Unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, The gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss? Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on. Let us continue with our deductions. Now that we know this contrivance is not an anti-gravity device, there remains but one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Alright, I've had all I can take before I start panicking. I'm going back to work. Yeah, get away from him, this guy, as fast as possible for your own sake, John. Oh, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Thanks, man. I'll see you later. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite, and naturally there is one explanation. Yes, the reason why everything here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. He is absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he? I'm afraid that the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Oh, I can look around like this. Safe combination! Look, there's something on the underside of this armchair. Oh yes, safe. 432582. Safe. As in safe as secure? As in secure lockable box, I think. Admittedly, more likely. Well, there's a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes. So you mean this number would let us open it? I wonder why it's written here, though. It had to be the safe combination. Yep, that's what they were looking for. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the save combination. Precisely! I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you have had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside of a cover of a book just in case. That's it, for people who are forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would have been more sensible, I think. And pray what happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came around, I had forgotten which book I had written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it. But people are forgetful souls at heart, and they always forget where they've noted things down. Not if you always note things in the same place. Actually won second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I slipped the ticket into, so I had to turn my room upside down. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe you've proved my point now. Which is that this very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written on the other side of the piece of furniture, but forgot which one. Leading to the state where we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in here, in desperate hurry, to locate the safe combination code that would unlock the safe. Alright, that's one down. Now, let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain this action is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Well, if a change of direction in the gravity can't explain
Then how did the footprints get up there? Yes, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Life was so much simpler in the Halcyon days of which gravity could be reversed. It was minutes ago, and those Eklon days never existed in the first place. Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the idea in more detail. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into the situation in the first place.
I see balloon.
This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon. Yes, I think you're right. I think that's helium keeping it up. A green gas balloon. Why does that ring a bell with me? As you can see, there are footprints on this balloon too. Look. Oh yes, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Not sure what that tells me, so I'm not sure.
I choose balloon.
Nope. Being able to fly freely in the sky, that has been mankind's dream for centuries. And of course the balloon's the invention that made that dream come true. Mr. Trevor, clearly a man of dreams, used the balloons to ascend to the ceiling and plant his feet on the roof. I take no pleasure in delivering bad news, but that the undeniable truth is, it's clearly too small. What? I knew you were going to say that. My dear fellow, then you are twice the fool. If people could fly in such small balloons, why would anyone ever manufacture large ones? I despair they lack a common sense this time at times from Naruhodo. Ah, that really hurts coming from you. Damn it. Okay, so it's not that simple. Those footprints up there on the ceiling really are a puzzle, as they are so close to the skylight. It's very hard to believe the two aren't related. Perhaps we need to approach this from a different angle.
Wait, why is a shoe up there? Hello?
It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there, look! Oh yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged, don't you think? So if judging by the number of footprints, it had been thrown up there several times. Why would anyone be throwing shoes at the ceiling though? Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid.
Trying to get the balloon down and just threw his shoe up there like a bajillion times, but somehow always like landed like at the bottom of the shoe, always hit the ceiling. That's funny. It was shoe. There we go.
The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on a closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data. Ah! It was the piece of the green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene. Inside that green balloon was Master Gods claimed he saw above the stage when the incident occurred. Was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous deception. Conception. You mean to say, if we assume the balloon here is a model of the one used that day, there's a strong possibility that something may have been concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. Hence why we resort to a projectile, namely the shoe. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with a shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights. Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I do believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope. To reach the intended destination, what better tool to use than a rope? Mr. Sholmes managed to bring the deduction back to the rope. Okay, I have to admit, alright, that was clever. So we just throw a rope up to the balloon and then pull it down to us on the ground? Which is much easier said than done, I feel. It could take us a very long time as well. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? Oh, the crossbow.
Take that!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool to use than this crossbow? That was found at the scene, in fact. In all likelihood, it belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it with him, away with it on that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe in such a critical time like this. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deep and stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon? Armorhead? What the? A waxwork? Oh, that's the missing head. Indeed it is! A waxwork head inside of a metal mask. The mask is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside, that means... Just a moment, this is the head of the waxwork model? Does that mean... Oh goodness! I see you've joined the dots, Miss Uzuto. Excellent. Of course. A headless waxwork model. The case of this abducted Madame Tuspel's model that you largely solved, it was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tuspel's will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you have surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yes, but why is it here? This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it, earlier today, was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible. Professor Hairbrain's case and the waxwork abduction are... They're inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. Updated. Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. And all that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure. The architect? You mean Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via the skylights, obviously the man must still be here in the room. What? And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. Enoch Drebber is right here, somewhere in this room. So, Mr. Naruhodo, will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the... Oh. Is it actually the wardrobe? If you need to hide, there's no better place than a wardrobe. I stand firmly by that. Ah yes, you had some experience with that yourself a year ago, didn't you? We'll find him in there, mark my words. He'll be curled up in a ball, trembling and hungry. In fact, my own hand is trembling just thinking about making the discovery. Never mind, Mr. Naruhodo, he could be hiding somewhere else, you know. Yeah, he could be hiding in this cupboard. This is to be cupboard for cups and saucers and the like. Ah, ingenious hiding place. Oh, is it? Well, when you say cupboard, you automatically think of saucers and cups, don't you? And the clever engineer knows that, so he knows you never look for him there, because he's not crockery. Though sadly, it seems to be only full of crockery. He's hiding in the safe! Look at all that mess in front of the safe. Yes, plans and accounting ledgers. It's almost as if someone's in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact. Wait. Are you in the safe? Before we gain access to the back room, we heard noises from in here. Which tells us the engineer was still in the building at that point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to a safe.
and pressed for time, he made no attempt to right the furniture that has been overturned in the process. From which we can deduce that his search for emptying the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drubber is at this very moment inside the safe. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. How would he get out, though? I hope it can open from the inside, otherwise he did not think this through. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide-and-seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1432582. I knew that. Alright, then here goes. Hi. You found me. That's gotta be uncomfortable. What the hell? Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Drubber, I presume? Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Harebrained with that bogus machine you built. And you have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Fuspel's as well. Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions, personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate? Your parcel? I refer, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in the most prominent position. Ah! Ha ha ha. I see. Stunned silence. You're gearing up to die with me then. No! Mr. Sholmes, we only have 7 seconds to spare. That was too close for comfort. I got 1 foot in the grave already. Are you trying to help us get a kill or get us killed? Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they? Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device was really quite startling, I must say. Anti-gravity devices don't exist. Ugh. I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes. This guy is freaky. What happened? What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? Don't you screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough over. Don't you worry, Drubber. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. While I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt. Whistling? Ah, that would have to been me. Oh. And for some reason, I woke in fine fettle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Those poor chips. Clearly I must have a screw loose though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another screw loose, as I couldn't remember which piece of furniture I had written down. We found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I'd hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short.
So then, I started searching for the combination code to open the safe.
And both extremely incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters.
And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe, having first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police.
Got a death wish, have ya? Hiding right beside a ticking time bomb?
Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Precisely. Once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again. I invite you to look more closely.
Oh, it does open from the inside. Okay, never mind. He thought this through. Alright, I'll give you that one. You win.
The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be locked from within.
Ah, so it is.
I've always intended to blow this place to smithers in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along to screw up my plans.
Do you mean to say you're planning to blow this all up?
No. That was unforeseen.
What do you mean?
Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works.
Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face, besides the unusual eyes, ears, and nose and mouth?
I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. With the two incidents you evidently put... But what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Hairbrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition, and the waxwork model you stole, which is the head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the Professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection, after all.
That's enough.
Oh, hello. What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well...
Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here. And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot, leave at once.
My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, there's no way to greet such an old acquaintance.
Is it, Dr. Scythe? Hello, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe?
If it isn't the protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. You...
Get out.
But of course, we'll show ourselves out the door. See you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes?
It would appear that our delightful, entertaining investigations have run their course for today.
But Mr. Sholmes...
Then let's leave this place in the doctor's capable hands.
I said get out, now, all of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson.
Ooh, understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. If there was a time bomb set in here that this lot disarmed.
Spectre.
Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Drebba?
Ah, so sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Yes. You just did disarm that one.
What do you... That one? You mean... Uh-oh. Oh, no.
It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage on the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebraine's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever.
Wow.
Goddamn. Did not see that one coming.
Alright, well... Man, it's crazy. Freaking robot. Half robot, half man looking... What is that guy doing? Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna stop there for now. Kinda want to play the rest of the trial, but kind of been going on for a while now, so it's probably best to call it there. Well, it's been fun, but now it's time to call it a day. Let's see, who can I go bug? That was still a good that was still an investigation sequence. I liked it. Wow. We learned a lot. Cosmo's still alive. Freaking, Trevor just blowing up everything, not giving a single care in the world. But let's see. What can we do? Oops. No. Come on. Yeah, we'll just call it here for now. Oops. No. What are we doing? Well, thank you guys for joining. I'll be back later this week, so I'll see you guys later, alright? You guys have a good one. Let's see what Smiley's doing.